Welcome back to Trail of Tuesdays, the part of Clue Trail where we explore the odd, the unexplained, and the stories that don't quite fit the usual path. Today, we are going back to Victorian England, to a night when snow had just fallen and the world was still. But by morning, something strange appeared. A single line of hoof-like footprints stretching for over 100 miles across fields, over rooftops, and even through walls. Was it a prank or a misidentified animal, or even something inexplicable? This is the mystery of the Devil's Footprints. It happened on the night of 8th of February in 1855 in Devon, England. A heavy snow had blanketed the countryside that night, and when locals woke up the next morning, they noticed something strange in the snow. Hoofprints. But these were not your normal horse track. They were single-file cloven prints, like goat hooves. You might be thinking now, so what? Goat hooves aren't that unusual. But these tracks were different. They weren't confined to roads or footpaths. Instead, they ran in a perfectly straight line over rooftops, haystacks, frozen rivers, and even high walls. And that wasn't all. They went through closed gardens, even crossed fields without even disturbing any of the gates. And in some reports, they went up to doors, paused, then continued on the other side of the wall. No one saw it being made, but the trail was there, and no one could quite explain it. As you can probably guess, in 1855, people didn't exactly reach for scientific explanations first. The appearance of cloven hoofprints immediately led to one name and one name only: the devil. Some believed it was Satan himself roaming the countryside and marking the ground. Others thought he was an omen, maybe a punishment, or a warning for something they committed. But not everyone bought into the idea of a supernatural visitor. Some suggested a more practical but very unusual explanation. This theory claimed that a kangaroo had escaped from a private zoo and made its way across the English countryside. Others said that these were marks of hopping mice or badgers, or perhaps objects carried by the wind. And then there were the realists, people who thought it was just a case of mass misidentification. They said the answer is simple. The snow, it's just patchy, and people just got scared, connecting the unrelated prints and made a monster out of it. But what keeps this mystery alive isn't just the shape of the prints. It's the scale. Reports said the tracks covered up to 100 miles in a single night. That's not really something that a goat or a badger or even a confused marsupial could manage. Even if different people saw different prints and lumped them together, it's still incredibly odd. From the consistency of the spacing, the odd paths that ignored physical barriers, to the sheer volume of reports from villages all across Devon, all describing the same thing. Also, no known hoaxer has ever taken credit for this, and no natural explanation fully fits, which still leaves this legend wide open. News of the strange prince spread quickly. Local newspapers picked up the story, and within days, it had reached London. The Illustrated London News ran reports describing marks in the snow such as no animal could have left. Other papers published letters from residents, sketches of the tracks, and of course, all the conflicting theories. One letter claimed the tracks measured about 4 inches long and that the stride between each print was consistent, about 8 inches apart. Another noted that the impression appeared to sink through several layers of snow, as if made by something warm or heavy. But not everyone saw the same thing. Some sketches showed the prints as cloven, others as horseshoe or even V-shaped. Some said the trail ended at a river, others said it crossed one, walking over thin ice without breaking it. The consistency only added to this confusion. Was everyone seeing the same thing? Or had the story grown as it spread? Part of why the devil theory took hold so easily has to do with the time and place. Mid-19th century rural England was a place where religious belief and local folklore were still deeply intertwined. The idea of the devil roaming the earth wasn't a metaphor. It was, well, for many, a literal possibility. Stories of strange creatures and omens were already common in Devon, and the hoofprint mystery fit neatly into the older traditions of unexplained visitations. The tracks appeared during a particularly harsh winter, when food was scarce, livelihoods were strained, and tensions in many villages were already high. A mysterious event in the snow may have offered an outlet for those fears, perhaps something external to blame or focus on. It's also worth noting that the 1850s also saw a rise in interest in spiritualism and supernatural. Seances, ghost sightings, and paranormal stories were frequently reported in the papers. In that context, the devil's footprints fit the cultural moment. One of the more grounded theories is that this wasn't one long, continuous trail, but rather several unrelated incidents that were later connected through rumor and word of mouth. Snow tends to blur details quickly. A fox, a rabbit, or even a large bird could have left the prints, which possibly looked unusual once the snow softened or stretched by sun and wind. Combine that with people traveling between towns and sharing what they seen, and it's not hard to imagine different communities linking unrelated prints together under one story. Some researchers believe that 100 miles figure. It's likely an exaggeration created by overlapping reports. If 3 villages each saw prints 5 miles apart, it might be told as one 15-mile trail, even if those prints weren't connected at all. Still, that doesn't fully explain the way the prints moved over rooftops and walls. And that's why we are still talking about this mystery today. While the idea of Satan leaving hoofprints in the snow might sound far-fetched today, it's a reminder of how people explain the unknown, especially in times of fear or uncertainty. The devil's footprints may never have a clear answer, but the case offers a fascinating look at how stories form, how folklore spreads, and how these old mysteries survive. Thanks for taking this snowy detour with me on Trail of Tuesdays. If you enjoyed today's mysterious footprints, leave one of your own in the form of a review, follow, or share. It helps others find the weird little corners of Clue Trail. We'll be back next Tuesday with another short and strange story. See you next time.